WWE Unreal Season 1. This is something new. This is an awesome project. It's going to be starting up real soon. And I got the director here. This is awesome. He's got an extensive background. And I just, first of all, just want to talk to Chris Weaver. Chris, tell us a little bit about this project. Tell us when we're debuting, I believe, at the end of the month. It's going to be on Netflix. It's a series, which is cool too, with seasons. So this is season 1. I'm figuring there's going to be more seasons. But you tell us about it, Chris.
Jim, thanks for having me. Yes, WWE Unreal drops on July 29th on Netflix, season 1. We got 5 episodes. As far as the future of the show, I'm very hopeful, optimistic. We'll do this for many, many years, let's say. But I'm sure Netflix will evaluate how it's responded to when it comes out and make those decisions. But yeah, 5 episodes. They run about 45 to 60 minutes. Most of them are like in the 50-minute range. But covers the arc that starts basically at their Netflix premiere on January 6th through WrestleMania, which was what, April 20th, 19th, 20th. So it sort of covers their first bit of season, if you will.
So we're getting some Rock, we're getting some John Cena, we're getting some of that, I guess, right, Chris?
That's right. A little bit of Rock, a little bit of Cena, a lot of Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Rhea, Chelsea Green. I'm going to leave some people out, and I feel bad about it. But Bianca, like, a lot of their biggest, best stars are very prominent in this series, and they were all great to work with, and all delivered something for us, and made for a hell of a series.
Chris has worked with NFL films, does things with NFL films. He has an extensive background. He knows what he's doing, and this is really cool. I'm curious, Chris, I would have never thought 10, 20 years ago we could pull the curtain back this much because pro wrestling has always been something that we see what we see and we know what we know, but it's still, there's that mystery behind it. What is it like now? Because we're actually going behind the scenes on this, and you can elaborate a little bit on that. Thank you.
Yeah, so walking into this project, I knew that wrestling historically was pretty tight-lipped and wanted to keep things under wraps for both. They want to keep their stories and their reveals secret. Plus, just like you said, the mystery of what they're doing. I think they've accepted that. The world knows. This is scripted. It's episodic television. Maybe we can get even more fans to want to enjoy this if they know a little bit more about the people that make it possible. So very deep dive. People actually say, "Oh, so we're going to peek behind the curtain." I'm like, "No, this isn't just a peek behind the curtain. This is like pulling the curtain down." They were very open. We said, "Let us shoot as much as we possibly can," and they did that. And they were very warm and receiving, and they made us feel like part of the group when we go out on the road or when we go into Stanford, their headquarters in Stanford. So yeah, this is going places that no one's ever really been with cameras. In fact, one of the first events we shot, we were going and shooting some different things, and even like internal people at WWE were like, "Whoa, you're going to shoot that?" And that's when I knew, we're on to something here. We got something special.
Well, it's interesting, Chris, as you're directing this, do you have a plan going in, and how does that plan continue and obviously changing? Because this is all live stuff. This is stuff that's not scripted.
So yes, so the showrunner of the project's named Eric Powers. He's sort of like me and him are sort of side by side on this in terms of running the crew here at NFL Films. And he is a massive wrestling fan, has a very great understanding of the current and the history. He's like encyclopedic about it. So he helped map out what this could look like, and we sort of made the PLEs, the tent poles, and sort of the endings and payoffs for storylines. Which is what, it's kind of like we do with like a Hard Knocks. It's like we build up what these characters are, who these coaches, players, and then we kind of pay them off in the big games near the end of an episode or even the start of the next episode. So we had a plan, but to your point, things are changing all the time. It's part of the story with them is like plans change. And we sort of try to demonstrate that in an episode or two even to show how much it changes. But yes, it changes constantly. We constantly change our story. We call it the storyboard. It's fluid. Everything is fluid, but we did have a plan of attack, and we stuck pretty close to it with some changes along the way. But most of the changes were, made the show better.
Wow, Chris, you mentioned Hard Knocks and your work with NFL films, and that show has just been what a success. And I'm curious, I think because social media and also like content like Hard Knocks lends itself, hey, WWE, let's do something like this different. We'll investigate your background, look at your background, let fans see this, and like you say, maybe get new eyes on the product. I mean, is that the major goal of all this?
I think that was a goal for WWE for sure. Was like They've seen how these behind the scenes follow doc series on Netflix have sort of propelled leagues and athletes and opened up to new audiences. And I think that was a major goal for them is like, hey, let's see if we can get more people to watch this thing and expand our footprint, expand our audience, our fan base. So yes, and hopefully we're going to do that. I know it's been a polarizing discussion in the wrestling realm, but my hope is, the next fan coming in is what we're after, bringing in new fans.
Chris, UFC does things like this, maybe not exactly like this, but they do behind the scenes. And I'm curious because WWE, UFC, TKO Group is all together, ESPN and Net. I mean, they're just doing a lot with UFC. And I'm just curious from your standpoint with NFL films, could this be something you all get involved in with UFC too?
I think it's the kind of thing that we are always open to doing new and interesting shows, series. So the answer is sure. We'd love to do that. We always, we evaluate every project and idea that comes through and see what works best for us from a creative, financial and just fulfillment standpoint and creative fulfillment standpoint. So the short answer is yeah, I could see something like that for UFC and really almost any sport, any league, any company. Like there's always a story behind the story, so to speak. So we're interested in telling stories, both within football, obviously, and outside of football. But yeah, we evaluate all that sort of thing and say what might work best right now for us and for that product.
How did you land this gig? This is an awesome gig.
You mean me personally or NFL Films, I guess?
You personally.
Me, so as you mentioned, I've been here for almost 25 years now at NFL Films. I've done countless films. I've done a ton of Cowboys productions over the years, from highlight films, a lot of football lives on former Cowboys. So, and I was the lead director on Peyton's Places the first year and in the second year for ESPN Plus when that was getting off the ground, and gained a ton of experience on that. So that helped develop my relationship with the Omaha Group, which is also involved in this project at Peyton Manning's production company. So having that relationship with them and with Peyton, they knew what I was capable of, and internally, our people here knew what I was capable of as a director and as a filmmaker. And so it was, just a lot of in the schedule aligned. I wasn't already on something massive that they would have to take me off of. So the stars aligned, and when they mentioned it to me, I was like, the answer is hell yeah, I want to do this because I knew how special it could be.
WWE Unreal Season 1. It's going to be on Netflix. It's going to be really cool. I want to wrap this up. I know we got to go, but just quickly, SMU. You are an SMU guy. I'm just curious, Chris, how did SMU help you? And thank you very much for your time.
Uh, I was in the film. Well, they didn't have a true film program back then. It was just communications, and I think they called it film and TV. Some teachers there, some professors there they helped me quite a bit. I think my experience in just networking and meeting people, the SMU is almost invaluable in terms of networking. So for, future students out there, I do think if you want to network and meet great people, that's a great place to do it. And I know the film program and television program has come a long way. I think it was Belo Corp or somebody dumped a bunch of money and gave them a bunch of money to expand that. So yes, SMU did help put me on this path. And in fact, I got my foot in the door here through another SMU grad. So yes, a hat tip to SMU there.
Well, thank you, Chris Weaver. And SMU, he's proud, and they're proud of him. Thank you so much.
All right, Jim. Thanks, man. I appreciate talking to you.